Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth and it is November 3rd. It is about 9:30 p.m. and I'm still coming to you from Emily's hospital room. I'm happy to report that she's doing much better. Still having some fever and they're not really sure why. They've been running a myriad of tests to try to figure that out, and I have every confidence that they will get to the bottom of it. Meanwhile, she's getting much stronger and we are just hoping and praying that she will just continue with, getting stronger and being able to start eating soon and walking and everything. So thank you again so much for all your prayers, support, and your comments. I crave your comments, and I have read every single one multiple times, and I just haven't, like I said in my previous few videos, I have not tried to comment back because it's quite honestly a big pain to try to type on my phone. So I'm hoping to go home and be home on Monday, and hopefully I will get to answer some or all of your comments. So just know that I am reading them and greatly appreciating them. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for all of that. So I need to do my October wrap-up, and I only have about 15 minutes of space on my phone, on my the camera on my phone, because I don't have the cloud or anything like that. So I've already tried filming this once, and I ran out of time like about halfway through. So I'm going to have to do this fairly quickly. Some of these books I've already talked about on Friday Reads, and actually probably almost all of them. So I'll just kind of give you the brief rundown of what I have read, and then if you're curious about any of them, then just leave me a comment below if I didn't give you enough information about the book. And then of course you can friend me on Goodreads, and then you can see all the, well, I guess you don't even have to friend me. You can still look on my Goodreads page and read my reviews or whatever. Now there's the few that I finished right at the end of the month. I haven't written up any notes yet because, again, it's such a pain to have to type it on my phone. I said one finger typing. Anyway, enough of that. So in the month of October, I finished 17 books. 9 of them were audio, 8 of them were print. So let me go through the audiobooks first, and then the majority of the print books were the ones that I was doing at the end of the month, my 10 books, 10 days. I did finish my reading goals in 8 of the books, and then 2 of them I didn't have with me to begin with. I did eventually bring them up last weekend, but I did not even attempt to read anything in those 2 books. But I did read a graphic novel, so I did actually finish 9 out of 10 print books, and then made some progress in a couple of audiobooks, and then finished at least 2 audiobooks. Actually 3 audiobooks during that time. 2 of them were super short. So, all right. So just a brief rundown of what I read. Some of these earlier books I've talked about in Friday Reads. I read or listened to 2 books by J.A. Jance, Betrayal of Trust, and this is book 20 in the J.P. Beaumont series, and then Kiss of the Bees. This is book 2 in the Brandon Walker or Walker family series. Then a cozy mystery. Now this is not the actual book, but I laid it here so that I, would have a representation. I read The Cat, the Quilt, and the Corpse, which I've already returned to the library. This one I just purchased on my birthday. It's book 6 in the same series, the Cats in Trouble series by Leanne Sweeney, and they're just great. So I really enjoyed the first one. Well, and I'm certain that I will enjoy the rest of them. I also listened to the second book in the Harmony series again, somewhere along the way, and buddy reading this with Elise Hung and anybody else who might want to join in on my Goodreads group. And Elise, thank you so much for your comments. I read them a couple of times, and I will get back to there and make my own comments about it too. So it's a great book. Then this is one of the audiobooks that I finished, listened to right at the end of the month. It's only an hour and a half long. It is The Best Halloween Ever by Barbara Robinson, book 3 in the Herdman series. I didn't like it quite as much as the first 2 Herdmans, but still I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's really just too short, and there's not enough of the Herdmans in it. They talk about the Herdmans all through the book, and then the Herdmans come into play at the end, but still very cute. highly recommend this middle grade, or really even probably it would be considered an elementary series. It's just so good, so cute, and I'm really excited that I've been saving this one for Halloween, and so I'm excited about that. Then on my Kindle, let me show you a couple of the audiobooks that I listened to on Audible. I listened to 2 different books that were Audible originals that I got free on Audible. One of them was Feeding the Dragon. It's about a girl, I think it's autobiographical, Sharon Wilson? Sharon, I'll have to put my readers on. Sharon Washington. Okay, she grew up, or lived at least a part of her childhood, in a library because her father was the maintenance man, and they lived in an apartment in the library. So it was really good. I wish it had been longer. That was really my only complaint about it, is that it needed to be longer. And then I listened to The X-Files Cold Cases. That was really fun because the actors from The X-Files are doing the voices in this audio presentation. Then I listened to 3 Wishes by Stephanie Bond. I wasn't crazy about that. I think I talked about it in my last Friday reads. And then I listened to Luke by Emily March, which is also called Give 'Em the Slip by Geraldine Dawson. Same book, same person, just different names, different author names. Then the reason I listened to that again is because I read book 2 in print, and I wanted to just, review the first one and all that. So I'll tell you about the print book in just a minute. All right, then also on, let me see, let me go to my Hoopla. I guess the only audiobook I listened to on Hoopla was The Best Halloween Ever, so that's on here. Then I listened to, oh no, that's next month. Also on Hoopla, I read a graphic novel. I read Giant Days, issues 1 through 4. And the first 3 issues or chapters were good. The 4th one, I wasn't really sure. There was drugs involved, and I wasn't really sure what kind of message they were trying to say. So anyway, I didn't care for it as much, but it's about some girls in college, and most of it was really good and enjoyable. I will read some more. I thought the characters were fun. 3 main girls, and they're very different, and I think they're all roommates. And that happens in college. You get paired up with people who may have you have nothing in common with, and you have to learn to get along, and it's a fun dynamic. So I enjoyed it. Then let's see, what else? Is that all? I read some ebooks, so while I've got my Kindle on, I'll show you those. I read Winter's Morning by Janice J. Richardson. This was one of my 10 books that I was trying to finish in 10 days, and I did finish it. And then I also read Morrigan by Mary E. Pearson. This is the novella that's part of the Remnant Chronicles, and I did finish it. Then I was trying to finish Stranger Realm by Jack Castle, who is a friend of mine, and I did not finish it. In fact, you can see the white line there. I'm about 50% done with it. So I guess I only finished 7 of the 10 print books, and then I read Giant Days. So really, I only finished 8 print books. And I didn't even finish 8 print books. It's just that I finished my goals. I met my goals in those books. Because one of the print books I was working on was to catch up with where I needed to be in the Bible. And I did. So I met that goal, although I'm not done with the book. So I consider that a success. So that is good. Then the other... Let's see. The other print books that I read as part of the 10 books in 10 days, Never Say Never by Geraldine Dawson, which is also on Audible as Matt, the Callahan Brothers by Emily March. So that's the same book. This was more steamy than I indicated when I talked about it in the Friday Reads, and also a lot of foul language. Matt, the main character, has quite a mouth on him, so don't go into this thinking that it's going to be a comfort, cozy read like I normally, love to tell you about. There's some language and some, sexual content, and it's also kind of a romantic suspense. The storyline I thought was really good, and the mystery involved about there's a stalker and you don't know who it is and all that. I didn't know who it was, so it was kind of a good as far as a mystery. Then we finished Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. I don't know when we're going to get to do a live show. It would have been today so that we could talk about The Reading Circle by Ashton Lee and also Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. And I am still at the hospital, and it would have just been really impossible to try to do it here in the hospital room, so I didn't even try. We probably are just going to skip this month because I may still be in the hospital with her by this time next week. I don't know. So we'll just shoot for the first Saturday in December, and we'll talk about all the buddy reads and group reads for the past 2 months, for October and November. So I finished The Reading Circle by Ashton Lee. I did like this better than the first one, and I'm really curious to read the books that they discussed in this book. I have not read. One of them was Forrest Gump, and I can't think what the other one was. But I didn't even realize Forrest Gump was a book, I think. Of course, I've seen the movie, but now I really want to read the book. I'm interested in it. Redeeming Love was every bit as good as everyone says it is, and so I loved it. I thought it was great. I also read book 4 of the Butternut Lake series called The Space Between Sisters by Mary McNear. Again, a very good book. Couple of steamy moments in one of the relationships. The sisters both have some budding relationships going, and but the relationship of the sisters I really enjoyed. It was a good dynamic, and it was a good it was just a good storyline. I thought it was really good. So how many times can I say good? What else? Earlier in the month, I read A Great Deliverance by Elizabeth George for my mystery book club. I really did enjoy this. This is, it's tough subject matter in as far as the crime itself. Now, I did watch part of the movie, and I thought they watered it down too much. The main crime and the motive for the crime, they didn't really go the full book, they kind of changed it, and to me, the motive that they only kind of used half the motive in the movie, and that wasn't enough of a motive for the crime. So I don't know, you won't understand that unless you've actually read this, but this is a great book. It's the first book in the Inspector Lindley series, and I really want to read some more of these. When I first listened to the abridged audio several years ago, I didn't even realize it was a series, and I didn't care that much to read on. Now I have read more about the characters, the main characters, and I really want to read some more. All right, then what else have I covered everything? I don't know. I had fun doing my chart. So I colored in. I used a different color for every day, and then this is my key to know what day was each color. And I've already made my chart for this month, for November, and so I'm excited about charting my progress. A few books that I started in whatever this month is. Started in October, and I'm still working on. One of them is City of a Heavenly Fire. I'm listening to this in my car on audio. I think I'm on disc 11 out of 17, and it's quite a chunker. It's the last of the Mortal Instruments, so I will be glad to get those done. And then I am also listening to The Apple Orchard by Susan Wiggs. I'm over 50% done. I did go in the Goodreads group and make comments about the first part. I divided it into 3 different parts so that you could go on and make comments about it. There's a few of us that have been buddy reading this. We were supposed to do it in October. I barely got the first section done in October, so I'm still chinking away at it. I did listen to some of it today. I'm enjoying this. The last Susan Wiggs book I read was last month. I read A Map of the Heart, and I did not like it nearly as much as this one. I'm enjoying this one much more. So, but not everybody does. Chloe from Chloe B. Reading, she was kind of on it. I think she might have said she rated it like a 3. She didn't really like the main character. And the main character is a little bit rough around the edges, I suppose, would be a good way to put it. I don't think you're supposed to like her at the beginning, and I think she's kind of supposed to come into her own and mature a little bit as the book goes along. How much time do I have? Oh, I am running quickly out of time. So I think that's about it for my wrap up. I also did what? I think I actually, yeah. I was attempting to also get back to Cape Light, which I did not do, and I didn't get Sweet September Red. Both of these are read-alongs that are going on my channel or on my Goodreads group, and I'm gonna have to catch up. I just couldn't get those done. So my time is just about up for the space I have left on my phone. So that's it for this video. I hope you are having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.